tell us, what is the Massachusetts Apprenticeship Network, and why did the Chamber create this program?
The Massachusetts Apprentice Network was launched in 2022 with a mission to expand the apprenticeship model to more sectors and more roles at employers all across the Commonwealth. Our Chamber CEO and President, Jim Rooney, has been a longtime proponent of workforce development, and he knew the apprenticeship model well. And he, together with some founding partners at Accenture and the Massachusetts Business Roundtable, they came together and they said, we need to increase apprenticeships in Massachusetts. We know that this is a proven talent development strategy, and it can help employers get access to a larger, more diverse pool of talent, and also help them fill their current and future hiring needs. And so they were hearing that from the employers, and they wanted to have a response to that, and they thought apprenticeship was a great solution. More importantly than that, though, apprenticeship is also a wonderful tool to create more opportunities to wealth-building careers for our region's untapped talent. And so by untapped talent, I mean individuals who are highly motivated, have acquired a lot of different valuable skills, whether through their life experience or work experience, but maybe they're missing just that one thing, a 4-year college degree or a specific credential, that if they had that would unlock so many more opportunities where they could really access these great jobs that our employers are desperately trying to fill. And so together they all collectively agreed, let's really spread the word about apprenticeship, and the best way to do that is through this Massachusetts Apprentice Network. We are a community of employers, of course, but also training providers, community colleges, wonderful nonprofits that have a lot of experience in workforce development, Perscolas, Year Up, Apprenti. And so collectively, we as a network have this goal that by the end of 2027, we'll have placed 1,000 apprentices across the network. And ambitious goal. I'm proud to say that we are just about over the halfway mark. I expect that by the end of this year, we'll have placed 550 apprentices throughout the network, which is an awesome number, and it sounds really nice, but I think it's important to recognize that it represents individuals and their families, and they're getting connected to these new opportunities, higher wages, opportunities for career growth that they might otherwise never had.
Right, and you know, it's not just about lifting up the individual, like you said, the families and their communities as well. You know, if we have 10 new people in a community who are able to have a higher paying job, that lifts up everybody, right?
Yes, 100%. You know, I'm thinking about a story of an apprentice. You know, we often feature our apprentices at our events, and they speak, and it's always the highlight of these events. But one of the events, an apprentice mentioned, he was returning from active duty in the military, and he came back and he was kind of struggling to get his footing on what do I want to do next. And so he got connected to an apprenticeship opportunity in cybersecurity, and he landed a wonderful job. Wow. His wages were really good. And he just said to me, Mike, I'm just so happy that I can provide for my family, but at the same time have more time with them. Mm-hmm. And that was something that was, I think, pretty powerful and different from his experience in the military.
Wow, life-changing stuff.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit about, you know, some people don't have a four-year degree, or they need a certain certification. You know, there are lots of opportunities for higher education. What makes apprenticeship different and unique from, you know, college or even an internship?
Yeah, an apprenticeship model, well, it's kind of funny because it's new to many people, but it's been around forever, probably hundreds, maybe thousands of years, I'm not sure. Ben Franklin was an apprentice back in the day. And so what it really is a learn and earn model where the individual is getting paid wages while they're learning on the job, and they combine that with some type of educational classroom component that is not the length of a 4-year degree, but it really provides the specific skill sets and knowledge that they need to be successful in a particular role. An apprenticeship also provides on-the-job mentorship. So apprentices always have access to a seasoned veteran who can show them the ropes and what it's like to be successful in that occupation. The final thing I'll say is, you know, compared to internships, which we love, you know, they're a wonderful way to get exposure to a job and to a sector. An apprenticeship is really meant to lead to a full-time job. And so you do the apprenticeship program, you complete it. If all goes well, the expectation is that you're brought in full-time with a wage bump and, you know, an opportunity to grow in your career.
Like you said before, you were talking about some of the organizations that you guys work with. You mentioned Perscalis. We're familiar with Perscalis on the show. Can you speak a little bit more to that and the other organizations?
Yeah, well, what we find is many employers out there are what I would say apprenticeship curious. You know, they've heard about it, they think it's an interesting model, but they really don't know how to begin. Especially these employers that are outside of the building trades that have been doing apprenticeship very well for a very long time. We're doing apprenticeships in, you know, healthcare and clean energy and financial services. So this is kind of new. There's not like a perfect blueprint. And so we bring them into the network, and then they get access not only to each other as employers, as a community of practice, but also to these training providers who have been in this space for a very long time, have a lot of expertise in understanding where to recruit apprenticeship candidates, how to think differently about your onboarding process and how you bring them in. And so organizations like Perscalis and Europe, I mean, they know this work so well. So they're a real valuable asset to the apprenticeship network and to the employers that are there that are trying to stand up apprenticeship programs from the first time. What I love about the apprenticeship model in our network is that we have such a diversity of organizations and employers that are in it. So I mentioned we have healthcare companies like Beth Israel Lahey. We have, you know, cybersecurity organizations, financial services. And our newest member, which I'm very excited about, we just announced this, is the New England Aquarium.
Oh, great.
Who have just launched an aquarist apprenticeship program, which was new to me. But it's essentially training people to have the skills needed to work with and take care of the penguins and the turtles and the fish that we love to see at the aquarium.
Wow, that's a huge, diverse range of apprenticeships. I'm sure there's something for everybody there, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. And before you were talking about, you know, these apprentices have the opportunity, hopefully, to get employed full-time by these employers. Can you speak a little bit to where the results are now, and is that happening regularly? I
love this question because it allows me to brag a little bit. We do collect data on all of our apprentices, and the stat that I love is that 92% of the apprentices that come in, they complete their apprenticeship, and they're hired into full-time roles. Incredible. So that's a wonderful conversion rate. And I think it's a testament to their dedication to the organizations that they're working for, and also the loyalty that they have for those organizations that invested in them.
And can you tell our viewers where to learn more about the Apprentice Network, and maybe they could sign up themselves? Yeah,
so best way to find out about the Apprentice Network is to search for us, Boston Chamber, Massachusetts Apprentice Network. We have a landing page with my contact information, all of the logos of all of our members. You can contact me directly, and we also have an intake form that says if you're ready to join, fill out this form and we'll get you going right away.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.